You're watching ABC7 News at 11.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Erica Jackson. Jacqueline Matter has the night off. Topping our news, our top story, we are learning more about the victims of that deadly bridge collapse at Florida International University in Miami. Authorities have confirmed that at least 6 people have died, 10 others taken to the hospital. ABC's Maggie Rulli is on the scene tonight with more.
A bridge meant to keep students safe on the campus of Florida International University, now reduced to rubble. Oh my God! Nearly 1,000 tons of concrete, trapping at least 8 cars and even more victims underneath. One of those who lost their life, an employee of the construction company there working on the bridge. Another, according to the Miami Herald, 18-year-old FIU freshman Alexa Duran.
She always, wanted to make people laugh, and she was always the life of the party, everyone wanted to be around her.
What started as a desperate rescue mission for survivors has now become a painstaking recovery amid the rubble.
Our primary focus is to remove all of the cars and all of the victims in a dignified manner.
Now investigators are zeroing in on the moments before the collapse, when it's believed workers performed a stress test on the bridge. And a newly released voicemail left by a bridge engineer who called the Florida Department of Transportation before the collapse to tell them he saw a crack in the bridge.
The cracking is not good, and something's going to have to be done to repair that.
Then they're questioning the university after the Florida Department of Transportation revealed that FIU, which was in charge of the project, did not hire a pre-qualified company to do a secondary design check of the bridge. Originally celebrated as a feat of modern engineering, seen here being installed just last Saturday in a matter of hours. Now authorities are questioning if it had adequate structural support.
Bridge design and the construction, obviously, that will be a focus of this investigation.
Recovery crews have been working here around the clock, desperately trying to clean up this wreckage and hoping to reopen this major highway as soon as possible. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, Miami, Florida.
In the meantime, the Florida Department of Transportation says an engineer who worked on the bridge left them a message saying there was a crack in the structure. He said the crack needed to be repaired, but didn't think there was a safety issue with it. This isn't the first time the bridge's construction firm, FIG Engineering Group, is under scrutiny. FIG was previously accused of failing to properly design a bridge construction system after an accident in Virginia. In that case, a 90-ton segment fell onto railroad tracks below Chesapeake. The allegations made in that lawsuit filed by the railroad were later settled, and a confidentiality agreement bars the release of details. FIG and a subcontractor, Lane Construction Corporation, argued over responsibility. We're getting new insight tonight into the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando. For the first time, we are seeing images inside the club as the terror attack unfolded. We're not showing all of the images because of their graphic nature, but we do want to warn you that some of the video is disturbing. The video was released at trial as prosecutors try to prove the gunman Omar Mateen's widow, Noor Salman, played a role in the attack. ABC's Lindsay Janis gives us a look.
Prosecutors in the trial of Noor Salman showing jurors how casually her husband Omar Mateen entered the Pulse nightclub, casing it for 11 minutes. Through that doorway, a packed dance floor. Mateen then leaving the club, moving his car to a closer spot before coming back in, this time with his assault rifle, opening fire on that dance floor, then moving to another part of the club. Within 6 minutes, police entering through the lobby, their guns drawn. As they see the full horror inside, officers yelling to the wounded to get out if they can.
You can walk. Shot fired.
Mateen holing up in the restrooms for the next 3 hours. Outside, SWAT teams busting through an exterior wall.
Shots fired north bathroom, shots fired north bathroom.
Within moments, engaging Mateen in a gun battle, killing him, but not before he took 49 lives.
Salman spent weeks helping her husband prepare for the attack. She has pleaded not guilty to obstruction of justice and providing support to a foreign terrorist organization. Back here on the Sun Coast, after an outpouring of support, $1 million has been raised in an effort to save what could be Braden River Preserve from development. The Manatee County Commission will decide on Tuesday whether to tax neighborhoods to create the preserve. The area east of I-75 features 34 acres that's home to a diversity of plants and animals. The land's riverfront and floodplain forests are part of the natural habitat along the Braden River, which supplies drinking water for the city of Bradenton. The property is now slated for development. If it's acquired for preservation, the Conservation Foundation is expected to donate almost 12 acres to the preserve, making it a total of 45 acres. In a section of that area, an aggressive otter has been wreaking havoc on kayakers. Several people have said they've been attacked by the otter. ABC7's Rick Adams has more from the river near the Linger Lodge in Bradenton.
Well, this is pretty bizarre and scary. Now, to be aware of an alligator out here on the Braden River, that's expected, but being attacked by an otter, that's unexpected. The peaceful setting of the Braden River has been anything but peaceful recently. Around 2 weeks ago, an aggressive otter attacked and injured 2 kayakers on one day and 2 more kayakers the following day. Marshall Weichel had led a group of kayakers when she heard a whistle blowing as the otter attacked 77-year-old Sue Spector.
5 blasts of a whistle. It sounded pretty serious. A minute or two, and I was at the scene of where the otter had jumped on Sue's boat, climbed on her back, started clawing or biting at her face.
Spector suffered injuries to her ear, nose, and arm. Because of this attack on Spector and others, the Florida Wildlife Commission has posted a sign at the Linger Lodge launch warning kayakers and boaters of the aggressive otter. Eric Fletcher fishes at the Braden River near the lodge often. He tells us he spotted the otter here very recently after the attacks.
We were catching a few fish, and I guess he heard the fish splashing, and he came up and tried to crawl up the bank and get to our fish, and he was being very aggressive, so we had to throw a water bottle at him to get him to go away, and he still wanted to come up.
In a statement we had received from the Florida Wildlife Commission, in part it says FWC has been monitoring the situation and has had officers patrolling that area of the river, but has not received any reports of any otters since March 4th. We're being told the 4 people injured in the river otter attacks, including Sue Spector, continue to improve.
She's getting her strength back. She's got 10 years on me, but she's an experienced paddler. She has extremely good spirits, and so she's ready to get back on the water.
And for more information on what you should do if you encounter an aggressive otter, you can log on to our website at mysuncoast.com. Reporting from Bradenton, I'm Rick Adams, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Rick, thank you. A great day to be out on the water. Here now we have Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan, who has your first alert weather forecast.
I got to tell you, it is going to be an outstanding weekend to be out on the waters. The sea conditions have really calmed down since earlier to this week when we had advisories all up and down the Suncoast. But you can tell by this time lapse that the sea stayed less than 2 feet out there. Pretty smooth conditions, gorgeous sunset tonight, and spectacular weather expected for the weekend. Right now, it's cool. It's 55 degrees. We have clear skies. The dew point temperature at 45. That's still pretty low for this time of year. Winds are calm. The pressure way up there, 30-13, and that's good news for the weekend. We're looking at beautiful high pressure dominating our weather and keeping all these clouds well to our north. You can see these clouds push are basically from the west to the east. There's no big drop to the south, and with that high pressure firmly anchored now just off the east coast of Florida, we're going to see our winds become more easterly in time and east to southeast by tomorrow afternoon, with a little sea breeze developing in the late afternoon, but that will create warm conditions for us here. So we'll get back into the warmth here with temperatures getting to average and then above average for Sunday. We'll talk about another cold front, though, headed our way. Coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. The island of Venice remains on limited use of its sewer system tonight. That's after a sewer main break at Russelletto Park on East Venice Avenue and US 41 bypass. That means people on the island need to cut back on flushing toilets, using showers, and any water that would go down the drain. The Utilities Department is working with the contractor to make the necessary repairs. ABC7 is monitoring the situation, and we'll let you know when the sewer system can be used as normal. New pods installed at Sarasota Bradenton International Airport will make it easier for parents to travel with infants. The airport installing 2 lactation suites so mothers can breastfeed in a clean and comfortable area. The suites are self-contained, and inside you can find comfortable benches, a fold-down table, an electrical outlet for plugging in a breast pump, and a door that can be locked for privacy. It's big enough for mothers who have other children in tow. The lactation suites can be found on both sides of the security checkpoint. Do you have plans to catch a flight this weekend? Well, you're going to want to pack your patience. Tampa International Airport is preparing to manage its busiest 2 days of a record-breaking 6-week spring break period. More than 82,000 travelers are expected at the airport on both Saturday and Sunday. So to cut down on stress, make sure to arrive at least 2 hours before boarding and always check your flight status beforehand. The spring break travel season runs through April 16th. In an effort to get impaired drivers off our roadways this St. Patrick's Day weekend, troopers will be out in full force. Troopers will conduct a DUI Wolfpack operation starting tomorrow at 9 p.m. and ending at 5 a.m. on Monday. That will take place in both Sarasota and Manatee counties along the interstate and major state and county roads. And remember, if you don't feel safe and need to report an aggressive or impaired driver, have your passengers dial star FHP on your cell phone. And if you do end up having too much to drink this St. Patrick's Day, don't drink and drive. Pick a designated driver or call a ride-sharing service. But if you find yourself out of either option, AAA is once again offering its tow-to-go service from tonight through Monday at 6 a.m. You can call the number that will be coming up on your screen and get a free confidential ride within 10 miles. Jot this number down in case it doesn't pop up. The number is 855-2TOW-TO-GO. The first Watch Half Marathon and 10K and relay is this Sunday morning, so if you have plans in downtown Sarasota, plan accordingly. The race kicks off at 6:30 a.m. at the Van Wezel. Runners will travel down US 41 and then across the John Ringling Causeway to St. Armands and back. There will be temporary road closures and delays that you can find on our website, mysuncoast.com. Straight ahead, Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with the first alert forecast. Plus, despite a focus on education in the new state budget, why the Manatee County School Superintendent says it's still not enough, and why Facebook is apologizing following some questionable auto search results.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Our overall experience working with California Closets was phenomenal.
Calm, reassuring.
Through happenstance, we ended up paired with our designer, Jen. She was someone who not only was patient, someone who was professional. She's become extended family.
She had great insight to help direct me towards those things that could make our dreams come true.
We are the Greens, and this is our California Closet story.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help. With Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sunny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
We all love our kids and want what's best for them. You have the power to help your kids learn to succeed in life every day. When you promote a love for learning at home, children build the skills they need to be ready for school. You can be their everyday hero. It's easy. Just text Everyday Hero to 77453 for simple learning tips.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure. Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Florida Governor Rick Scott signing into law a new state budget. Scott approving the nearly $89 billion budget that lawmakers sent to him this week, but not before vetoing $64 million included for projects he felt Florida didn't need. But despite the focus on education that the spending bill boasts, Manatee County School Superintendent Dr. Diana Green is one of many superintendents calling for lawmakers to take a second look at education funding. These superintendents argue that barely any of that education money in the budget is going toward actual education. Instead, a majority of the money is going towards school security and mental health funding, leaving just 47 cents per student in new funding.
We still need to pay our teachers. We still need to provide adequate resources for our classrooms. We still need to ensure that we meet the class size amendment.
The state of Florida added $5 billion to its state budget this year. So according to these superintendents, the state should have enough money to fund security and classrooms. So Bob, I've been begging you the past couple days to keep this beautiful weather that we had today.
Yes.
And I know you said a cool front's coming, but I'm not too much of a big fan of that. It's going to be a big drop.
No, it's not as big as this last one. But we will see slightly cooler temperatures, though, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. And looks like I know you wanted Monday to be okay. Well,
yeah,
you got it.
I can deal with slightly cooler temperatures.
Monday's going to be okay. It's going to be warm. Some Van Wezel webcams showing beautiful conditions out there on the waters, and I think that is going to be a key, a beautiful weekend for boaters and folks going out to the beaches. It's been kind of rough going for some. It's been a little bit on the cooler side. In fact, the lows this morning were just 4 degrees shy of setting a record low temperature here. I got down to 40 degrees. Beautiful shot of sunset tonight. Kathleen Brunt getting this one on Venice Beach. Appreciate that. Nice palm trees there. And Captain Kurt out of the sailboat. I like this sun here as it sets. I remember on CSK used to see them all the time. It looks like a light bulb just as it goes down close to the horizon. This one, the afterglow, if you will, sent in by John from Anna Maria Island. Appreciate all those photos. We do have some red tide to talk about a little bit here. Now, it's patchy, but it's very high concentrations now being felt from the jetties in Venice southward through Inglewood. There have been some reports of irritation there, some respiratory problems, but again, those count numbers are higher. But the good news is we are looking at fewer of the samples showing up as red tide. Well, we have a warmer weekend ahead. A cold front we mentioned on Tuesday. It comes in and brings us a chance for some much needed rainfall, and then cooler late next week. Those are the headlines as they read, and looks to be really quite nice though for the weekend. Now the wind shift is going to be a big deal. We'll have it out of the east tomorrow, southeast. By the afternoon though, as we get close to the noon hour, that wind starts to develop a little sea breeze, and that keeps things a little bit cooler near the coast with the water temperatures now into the upper 60s for the most part. Beachgoers will see highs tomorrow. Low 70s, 72, 73 degrees, but just a mile or two away from that, you'll see highs right around 75 degrees. Similar conditions on Sunday, although it will be a little bit warmer on Sunday. We're expecting highs approaching 80 degrees. Current conditions, it's cool, 55. We have clear skies. The dew point temperature has come up a little bit, 45 degrees right now, and winds are calm. The pressure 30-13, that's high. And that continues to rise at this time. There's the low this morning, 40 degrees. Will be almost 15 degrees above that tomorrow morning to start things off, close to the average for this time of year. And finally back in the 70s. After all week long, we've been in the 60s for highs. Now we're back into the 70s, and we'll go into the upper 70s on in through Sunday afternoon. 55 in Jacksonville, 60 in Orlando right now, and 68 degrees in Miami. Temperatures around the area into the upper 50s to low 60s. The Gulf water temperature now 67 degrees. Arcadia at 62, Northport the same, and 60 in Bradenton now. Cortez a little bit warmer at 63 degrees. Forecast looks good, as I said. Tomorrow, sunshine and plenty of it. Temperatures into the mid 70s. And it looks as though we'll see clear skies tomorrow night as that high-pressure ridge and dome will stay pretty much just to the east of the state. I mentioned the highs tomorrow will be into the mid-70s. Now, this is Fort Myers Southwest Regional Airport. Look at the 80. And then for lows on Sunday morning, if you have an early tea time on Sunday, looks to be okay. 60 degrees for the low temperature on Sunday. Well, the Futurecast showing a storm system kind of working its way through the central United States and into the Ohio Valley. But for us, this cloudiness kind of rides on the high-pressure ridge. This front falls apart just to our north, so it should not be a factor. And the next front, as I said, due to arrive late Tuesday. Temperatures currently in the 20s and 30s over the Great Lakes. A little bit warmer tomorrow in places like Chicago and Kansas City. We'll get up to 50 degrees, 80 in Dallas. For boaters, just smooth conditions out there. Seas less than 2 feet and winds out of the southeast turning to the southwest at 5 knots. And the water temperature now 67 degrees. The forecast tonight mostly fair, not as cold, 55 for your low. And St. Patrick's Day looks to be just spectacular. We'll look for 55 to start things off in the morning, mostly sunny and mild in the afternoon, 75 for a high. And then for the evening festivities, 65 degrees, and the extended forecast then calling for a high of 79 on Sunday. Same on Monday. Spring arrives officially on Tuesday with a chance for showers, mainly showers, Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night. Wednesday, it turns a little bit cool, highs in the upper 60s. Erica?
All right, Bob, thank you. Facebook is apologizing for an issue with its autocomplete search feature. Users say when they typed the phrase video of into the platform search bar Thursday, they were given autocomplete suggestions that described child sexual abuse. Facebook says it will investigate how the search suggestions appeared, but at least one expert says it's possible Facebook's algorithm was manipulated to purposely alter its search predictions. Sports is next, but first, here's what's coming up on Jimmy Kimmel.
Tonight on Kimmel, we're celebrating with American Idol's Lionel Richie.
I'm having so much fun.
We all are. And from Blackish and Grownish, the super smartish Yara Shahidi.
You don't need to go to college. It's a waste of your time.
Plus Moon Taxi performs. Kimmel, tonight on ABC.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
One of the motivating factors for me to become a Big Brother was that I was mentored as a youth. And it was important for me to kind of pass forward the things that were kind of given to me. It's really just as simple as getting to know a kid. You don't have to be an athlete. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to have any of those other things. You just have to be willing to spend a little time and help mold some young person's life.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong. A place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
Here's today's job of the day. ABC7 is seeking a digital content manager to join our newsroom leadership team. CMS experience required. Visit mysuncoast.com/job-of-the-day to apply. Now, sports.
More bracket busters today in the NCAA tournament. 13-seeded Marshall shocking 4th-seeded Wichita State. In the first, Marshall's John Elmore lobs it up to Rondell Watson for the alley-oop slam. It's close, but in the second, Jansen Williams sends it to Elmore for the deep three, the shot tying the game. Later in the second, C.J. Burks with the steal. He takes it down for the dunk. Look at that. Marshall leads, and they keep the momentum going. Off the inbound, Rondell Watson gets it to Panava for the dunk, and that's the game. Your final score, 81-75. Marshall wins. Florida State beginning play tonight in the NCAA tourney. The 9th-seeded Seminoles taking on Missouri, the 8th seed. Right now in the first half, the Seminoles are leading 29-18. 2 spring training games to catch tomorrow on the Suncoast. The Pirates will host the Twins at Latham Park, and the Orioles are set to take on the Blue Jays at Ed Smith Stadium on Saturday. Both games are set to get underway just after 1 p.m. That's a look at sports. We'll have tonight's winning lotto numbers straight ahead.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
My California Closets designer is a rock star. She was able to design the most beautiful space for me. When I turn the lights on, it's breathtaking. La! It's just a little slice of organized heaven. The California Closet team was so professional, so reliable. It was seriously a dream come true. My name is Jill, and this is my California Closet story.
I heard about the Detoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Detoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Detoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
I just had a very educational ride with Nina.
Did you learn anything?
Where do I begin? So all this stuff goes into a safety check.
Yep.
It's a long list.
It's important stuff.
Test the smoke detector.
Yep.
Check the breaker box.
Yep.
Meter the GFCIs.
Ground fault circuit interrupters.
Why do that?
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Nina, you make it look easy.
Thanks, but don't do it yourself.
Who's your guy?
We all love our kids and want what's best for them. You have the power to help your kids learn to succeed in life every day. When you promote a love for learning at home, children build the skills they need to be ready for school. You can be their everyday hero. It's easy. Just text Everyday Hero to 77453 for simple learning tips.
According to a new survey by U.S. News & World Report, 3 of Alabama's top 4 hotels and resorts are part of the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail Resort Collection. The Grand Hotel Marriott Resort in Point Clear, the Battle House Renaissance Mobile Hotel and Spa, and the Renaissance Birmingham Ross Bridge Golf Resort and Spa. Hey, we didn't invent Southern hospitality, we just offer more of it. Visit rtjgolf.com/resorts to find out more.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Bios.
Take a look at this video sent in to us by a viewer. It shows a helicopter filling up with water to drop over a wildfire that had sparked at Casperson Beach in Venice yesterday. About 10 acres burned, a wooded area near the popular beach. Luckily, crews from Venice, Nokomis, Sarasota County, and the Florida Forest Service were able to put it out, which is a good ending for that one.
Yeah, we hope we don't see more scenes like that in the upcoming months because we're entering our dry season, brush fire season, so pretty interesting to see that right there. Talking about being on fire, there's a basketball team right now that's on fire, something that's never been done.
I was going to say, talk about a happy ending right there.
Yeah, a 16 seed maybe beating a #1 seed for the first time in the NCAA tournament. University of Maryland, Baltimore County, beating Virginia, the #1 seed of the whole tournament.
I'm not a basketball person, but we'll have our countdown to football, right?
That's right.
All right, thanks so much for joining us tonight. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.